why do Catholic sisters care about issues like income equality and the undocumented population and access to health care?
Oh, we care about all these things because we see the heartbreak of the consequences of these issues. We walk with people and know the brokenness of our society. We also know that everyone suffers from this brokenness. I mean, there's folks who experience not having access to health care, but then there's a consequence for society. And the ripple effect that goes out, income and wealth disparity, that income, folks at the top, we like to think, oh, the top 1%, they got it made. Actually, they don't. They spend a lot of time afraid, apprehensive, it's very divisive. And to have a heart for the 100% is what we're about, is that no one can be left out of our care. Part of it is that we don't know community. Those at the top are isolated and really alone. And I thought it was really interesting what that one guy said about neighborhood. Knowing people in your neighborhoods and coming together. Well, if you live in a gated community, you're kind of removed. So that's not good for those at the top. And it's certainly not good for those at the bottom who can't live in dignity and care for their families and have any time. So people break my heart, and so I can't stop doing this.
And it's connected to who you are as life. That's what I always
absolutely.
It's connected to what we profess to be about.
Yeah.
And there's just no other way to respond but to step out and speak for it.
I know, if you follow the gospel, that's what I realized about Jesus. Jesus was forever walking towards trouble. And on the first bus trip, Andy Friedrich, who was recording for Bill Moyers, he was filming for Bill Moyers, he asked me this question. He said, Sister Simone, most people run away from trouble. You have a tendency to walk towards it. Why is that? But I think it's that peace about it's our life. And so I've come to realize that what I advocate is walking towards trouble, engaging it, and living as Jesus did. Only on a bus.
How can we challenge our government leaders to take care of the poor and protect the most vulnerable, as individuals or as voters?
That's a challenging one. I liked, as we were talking about earlier, the moral imperative piece. I think that's significant. But I remember a conversation a number of years ago I had with a legislator from Illinois. He's still in Congress. He's not my legislator anymore. How districts get changed. But he was saying to me that actually it should be the churches that feed and clothe and do all of this for people. And I argued with him and said that, society has a responsibility for this. Churches help, surely, but that is society, in this case, government's responsibility to get in there too. And he could never agree with me, and I finally thought, I stopped arguing, trying to make my point, because I thought there's really at least a philosophical difference, if not an ideological difference, but I still think we have to make the case that this is a moral imperative. And it is not all right that some people, now they're going to make cruise ships, so if you pay, I don't know, $100,000, then you don't even see the lesser paying passenger.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Well,
but it's that kind of living.
Well, they're doing some housing. Some of this economically integrated housing in high rises, and they'll have one entrance for the higher class people, and another entrance for folks who are paying at below market rate.
So it's
the same principle.
It's the same thing.
But here's the thing. I think your question is an important one, because I think at the kernel of it is what do I as an individual do? And I think that is what is our current Achilles heel. Is we think of ourselves as individuals, not as community. And because we don't have a community, we've lost our communal culture, it just seems like me against Goliath. And no, it's us together doing this work. And that's where the piece about faith, being a Catholic sister, being in community, being on the bus is about it's we together working it. My favorite, and you probably heard me say this, Marcelline, but one of my favorite images from Paul in the scriptures, in the epistles, is that we're one body and we each have a different part to do. And so my thing, I don't know if you've heard me say this, but I realize my part in the body of Christ right now is to be stomach acid. So I'm stomach acid because I'm not a hand or foot. I'm not doing direct service. I'm not, the big brain. I'm stomach acid. I go around and I help metabolize food. And I'm toxic in large quantities. I need to be contained in a few hours, a few days. But it's my role. But people who do the direct service, or people who, think the bigger thoughts, or people who are muscles that pull us all together, nourish me and I nourish them. But it's doing my part, being content with my part, not being jealous of somebody who, has a better job than me, or does another part of the body, but it's us together. It's that shared identity, which I really think is at the heart of the spiritual life. So
I was touched tonight by the person who said, when they were talking about engagement like this, if somebody is working two jobs and is struggling to keep their head above water, there is probably no way that they can be engaged in this kind of thing that you're talking about, or in the democracy itself. And it touched me when the person said they've already opted out.
Yeah. That was painful.
They're struggling. That was painful to hear, and so I think not only engaging legislators, but how do we be that community with other people, so that even if they're doing all of that, they still know that they're a part of this whole picture.
Well, that's the example of the Iraqi immigrant.
Yes.
And how they didn't know. And all the goodwill in the world.
Yes.
But no time. And
also no one to help them.
No one to help them.
Yeah.
And so that's why I advocate what I call grocery store missionary work.
Yeah.
We've got to talk about this with people we don't know. And ask questions. I mean, that's why we're going to the Republican convention. Is to engage in dialogue. We're not going to make converts, but we're curious. Only curiosity. We want to hear what you think. How do you think about this? Are you worried? What concerns you? What gives you hope? And who in your family is it difficult to talk to about politics? That always gets people laughing and engaged,
Yes.
Everybody has somebody. So, with those kinds of questions, I think we can try to begin to pull together. It's my theory.
Well,
We'll see.
you do a good job there.
I try.